All right, Taurus natives, you guys are doing this eclipse in your 3-9, and so this is about communication, legal matters, travel, things about your siblings, your neighborhood, transportation, all of that. So where the changes are going to take place, also education, so the changes can take place in any of those areas. So it's possible that you are going back to school or you're working on applications to go back in the fall. It is possible that you're in a legal matter and so you need to make some decisions about this, or maybe you're deciding to go into a legal matter, although I don't recommend that because Mercury is still retrograde. You might be deciding whether to go back to your Uber job because it says transportation, or thinking about buying a new car. Again, I'm going to caution you because Mercury is retrograde, so try and put that off until after July 12th. So because buying a car during Mercury retrograde is a nightmare. When we look at the relationship between Saturn and the North Node, what we see is that there's a lot hinged on how you feel you're worthy of doing your true calling and how you are going to collect together the resources necessary to do that. So this does say that maybe you feel like you need more education, and that's something that you need to decide whether you're in a profession that requires a lot of education, such as being a doctor or a lawyer. But if you're going into business, perhaps the education you need is some actual physical, like, being in it, you know. So take the money you would have spent on tuition and just start a business. So the North Node in the second house is that part of you that says, do I deserve this? Am I worthy of finding my true calling? Which of course you are, because if everybody did their true calling, this world would be a great place. So it's very important for you to work out whatever things are going on inside of you by, looking at yourself from the spiritual side. You are this magnificent soul that has a purpose, and so you need to follow that. Now, because you have this eclipse up in the 9th house, if you really feel drawn to education, this is a really good year to go and pursue that. There are so many options for you of conventional education and online education. But the interesting thing about eclipse, of course, is that in a lunar eclipse, the Earth is sitting between the sun and the moon. And what that means is that the mundane, everyday life keeps getting in the way. You have this thing that you want to express, and then, you have to go to your job, and you have to do the dishes, and you have to take care of the kids, and you have to do the mundane stuff. And so if you're finding that you just don't have the energy, or you find that you are not just doing the things that you know you need to do, just recognize that this eclipse can change that you can get the motivation by first starting with affirmations and saying, I want to study, I want to exercise, or whatever it is. I find that that's a super effective affirmation, because instead of saying I want to exercise, which my brain would say, no you don't, it says I want to. And then I go, oh yeah, I would like to want to exercise. That would be fantastic. So, and the same goes with studying, which is more to the point here because it's the moon up in the 9th house. Now, Mars is in Aries going through your 12th house. Of course, the 12th house is your psychic ability, your intuition, which I guess is the same as psychic ability. Your spirituality, and it also gives you really unlimited energy and an ability to reach more people. So if you are doing things on social media while this Mars is going through Aries for the rest of the year, you people who are Taurus, you have a better chance of reaching more people. You also are going to have more energy to get more things done. When we look at your relationships, Venus is making an aspect to that co-ruler of your 7th house, Mars. It's a sextile, so there are some relationship opportunities. This aspect is separating, so you want to get on it right away. But this does mean that you want to go out to your online dating apps and, swipe whatever direction you're supposed to be swiping, and go out there and update your profile and things like that. When we look at your home and family, it's ruled by that sun, which is part of the eclipse. So there are some changes going on. There's some communication that's needed. Really, really good to set up a Zoom conference with your your family members and reconnect with them, answer some emails, help your grandma get on Zoom so that she can connect with people. Look at what's going on in your neighborhood. If you're having a lot of people moving in and moving out, you should be making a list and doing some Feng Shui so that you can attract really good neighbors. When we look at your career, Saturn has gone out of your house of career, but it will be back, bringing you some changes in your career. But right now, you are just moving steady forward, doing those things that you want to do. Now, if you are saddled in your career with a lot of things you don't want to do, that's a little bit more problematic because you have Aquarius up there ruled by that Uranus in Taurus in your own sign, and you want the freedom to do your thing. And so as you are approaching people like your supervisor, tell them the projects you want to work on and see if you can get them to say, yes, you should go work on that so that you can do the things you want. For this eclipse, you have Venus and North Node in your second house. Venus is a bit of a spender, so you need to be careful and watch your budget. It's pulling money from your ascendant and your sixth house, so you're going to do more money-making activities than when they have your name on it and when you are actually doing the work yourself. So this is if you have a company, you're working side by side with the employees, or you are putting out things that have your name on it. Those are the things that are going to make you money. You are also pulling money from that Mercury retrograde. That means you're pulling money in from some old sources. So a job you applied for before might open up again and you can apply again, or that you're going back to a job you've had before. This also says that you can make money doing sales, doing things about communication, writing, teaching, publishing, and things like that. When we look at your passive income sources, we do not have an aspect between Mercury and Jupiter, and so right now that's not a strong area for you. You can put time and energy into it, but you're not going to see a lot of profits right now, so it's best to just focus your energies on other things. Additionally, when we look at money derived from career, we also don't have that real strong connection between Mercury and Neptune, and so that does indicate that it's necessary right now for you to focus on other things. That would be maybe doing the upfront work for creating new sources of income or applying for new jobs or things like that. So you have the time and you have the energy. Right now you may not be accumulating a lot of money. You're still making money. There's no question about that with the Venus there, but you may not be making more than usual. And that's what these, or the lack of aspects is indicating. But the one place that you do show some really positive energy is in that place of windfalls. And that is that when you go and put yourself out there, then surprising things can happen. This would be like doing an article on spec, or just posting some YouTube videos and having the algorithm pick you up, or, just calling up somebody randomly and saying, hey, I can help you with this. I have these skills, these abilities. So it's this sort of thing where random money and opportunities fall in your lap. That's where we see the strongest energy this time.